So guys, before we get into the videos I've got for you, let's see this headline. Like this one here says, video, an American missionary accuses Benue government of blocking him from building a market for water survivors and later sending him an inflated 300 million naira bill for what 50 to 60 million naira could do. So this guy, we all know him, who has been in the Middle Belt rebuilding homes, schools, this time wanted to rebuild a market and told the governor that I want to help rebuild this market that was destroyed by terrorists. Guess what? The governor said, no, don't rebuild. And then later the governor sent him a bill of 300 million naira, meaning the governor is asking him, bring 300 million naira, we will rebuild it ourselves. So you can imagine. So this guy came out revealing it that this is a market that would have cost him 50 to 60 million to build. The governor is asking him to bring 300 million naira. The question remains, all the subsidy money Tinubu is giving to politicians, where exactly are they channeling this money? That the Benue State governor wanted to dupe this American who has been on ground rebuilding what the state government / the federal government would have rebuilt. This guy has been doing that. Ask me what the Benue state government is doing with all the money he gets. I mean, we don't see him commissioning roads and all those stuffs, you know. We don't even know what this man is doing with the money. And you are going to watch this guy speak for himself as in his own experience. And that is why he refused to give money to people to build the houses he has built. He prefers to stay on ground, even though it's not that unsafe. It's not that safe for him, but he decided to stay on ground to rebuild the places, you know, by himself. So guys, what the APC cannot do does not exist. Now, have you heard that the APC now is issuing forms for people to fill? On that form, you are going to enter your voter's card number, you are going to enter your BVN, you are going to enter your NIN, you are going to enter all the relevant information you have as a human being. The APC says you should enter all of them so that you'll be allowed to be empowered. So guys, this is what we are seeing. So that you'll be empowered, they want to collect all the critical information from Nigerians. Now, there are this group of people who went to one of the INEC offices to collect their voter's card. To their greatest shock, their voter's card have already been given out. The APC has nothing to do for Nigerians. The only strategy they want to use is the strategy of duping Nigerians, which is not going to work this time around. Now, guess what? Governor Zulum was in Kwara State to commiserate with those who were attacked by the terrorists that executed close to 200 persons. See what he said. As Muslims, we believe in destiny. Zulum tells Kwara victims during condolence visit after Boko Haram killed over 170 persons. So Zulum is saying that as a Muslim, if such a thing happened, you should see it as destiny. That is what God destined for you to be killed by a terrorist. So guys, these northerners, sometimes you just keep wondering if their education qualification actually made any change, any difference in their lives, because the way they think. Now see how Shore has reacted to it. Shore here said, imagine the kind of nonsense this, he calls him brainless, that's not my language, PhD holder Professor Zulum is spewing. Why is it that it is never the destiny of a state governor to be slaughtered by terrorists and bandits, while it is always the ordinary people, farmers, travelers, students, and villagers who are butchered daily, while those who claim to lead and protect the nation remain untouched? Why does death only visit the defenseless and never those who sit in the government house? Foolish people. That's Shore's language. So guys, what I'm trying to say here is, no matter the level of education, I think this Islam, the ideology, the doctrine gets stuck into them, because you can't tell me that terrorists executed your people and you went there to tell them that you believe in destiny, that is, they were actually destined for that. So guys, this is what is happening in Nigeria. I'm just going to allow you to take a look at some of these videos and let me know your honest reaction in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification for more. Thank you.
I had to go to the humanitarian commissioner and I let them know of my desire here, what I'm supposed to do. And I was directed that I'm not allowed to build the market. They said that the government has plans to build the market. And they said, we'll send you the plan tomorrow, maybe 2 days. And I waited over 2 weeks, no response. And I'm pressuring, I'm asking, so what is happening? When are we going to build the market? You said you'd send me the plan, I have no plan. And they sent me a video of a 300 million plan for a market in Yawara. While they told me I can't build, I would spend maybe 50 or 60 million to rebuild everything. And they would consider a 300 million market here in Yawara. I said, what market in any village or town is there that is worth 300 million in Nigeria? Not one. Zero. Even in cities, which city has 300 million market? Very few. And I said I would not partake in this. Because my personal opinion is that people are using funds that are meant for the persecuted, the afflicted. Christian or Muslim, it doesn't even matter. People are suffering in Nigeria. And funds are supposed to be reaching those people to help them, to rebuild, to give food, to give aid, to do all these things. And the money that's meant for them is not making it to them. And so there needs to be purity within funds and within the government to do things in faith, to do things openly, to have accountability for what is being spent. Even this market that...
Shame to the Benue State government. Shame to the Benue State government. You know, we have a priest as a governor, but I'm disappointed. You see, when Peter Obi wanted to visit those people in the IDP camp, the government of Benue State stopped Peter Obi from going to have access to the people in the IDP camp. Today, a foreigner, an American, decided to go to Yelwata to help the people. See, after that destruction of lives and property in Yelwata, there was no serious government intervention in terms of rebuilding for these people. Now, an American, a young man, decides to come with the support of his friends through his NGO to put up structure to help these people start their life again instead of having them as IDP. He's doing well. He started to build market for these people. Before you know, the government came. The government said, no, we have to be involved, or else you will not build this market. Okay, give me the plans for this market. Then the government brings a plan of, after 2 weeks, of whopping 300 million to frustrate this man. Which kind of people are we? Then you start blaming Nigerian superstars. You start blaming them for not putting up structures to help the people, when before they start anything, they are being frustrated. Frustrated. You want to do the same matching ground, community settlement, this and this. Which kind of people are we? We are our sabotage. When can we be sincere as a people and stop these shenanigans that we're putting up? Putting up our name in a bad spot in the international community. We have to be real. If people need help, the people should be helped. Do we want to have IDP camps, or we want people to live their lives? You can't give security to the people and you're making it difficult for the people to rebuild. Benue State government, retract your statement and do the right thing. Let this man support our people. I am from Benue State and I'm not happy about this.
If the Fulanis manage to get their tribe in power once again, Nigeria is doomed. A minority tribe of about, let me say, between 10 and 15 million people, terrorizing a country of about 250-something million people. A minority tribe will not allow people to have peace in Nigeria. So if the Fulanis manage to get hold of the presidency once again, Nigeria is doomed. As it is, any Fulani aspiring to be the president of Nigeria, with the way the country is going, with their terrorism agenda, that person should be put on hold, because Nigerians can't trust a Fulani president any longer. So I thought to share this. God bless.
Nigerians is painful. We are at INEC office. Kwali.
Come, give me. Where? As it stands now, this is INEC office.
You know the yes.
Sidney Usman Godwin's voters card has been collected from INEC.
Yes.
This is one among 250 voters cards collected in INEC office.
Yes.
Completed, signed on behalf of individuals, including myself.
Yes.
And there is nowhere that PVC is found. So we're asking the INEC chairman and the INEC officials here, who took those voters cards? Where are they? How would they hand over voters cards to individuals illegitimately? People who do not register for this voters card. I'm an example. So many of us are here. Look at them. We want to know where are those voters. This is INEC office. They should understand. Tell us where those voters are, who took them, and why they gave them out.
You are busy decamping from one party to the other when your people are being killed, being yamutunized. You stupid followers. You will carry broom, carry umbrella, wear t-shirt, wear cap. Follow one stupid man who cannot protect you people to a campaign to decamp. But they cannot. When these idiots wrote that letter, why didn't they go after them? I saw somebody coming to analyze the road from here to here. The road. Mumu. Don't you have helicopter? Don't you have Tucana jets? Can't you fly bombers there? Don't you have paratroopers you can drop? Is it when you want to do independence or want people will start jumping from helicopter? Some of them will land on top of people's roof, land on top of electric wires.
You see, you can't keep praising Bola Ahmed Tinubu, calling him a political guru, a political master strategist, when all he has done to get to where he is today has been some kind of smart act of illegality in collaboration and with combination of a lot of criminal tendency. Criminality and illegality being put to play does not amount to smartness. So you are rating this man for the things he's known to be doing. 2027 is around the corner. We see how he has messed the country up. It is normal that Tinubu cannot and should not win any election after his woeful performance in his first step that he grabbed. But now look, Tinubu, what makes people always think he's smart, his inability to think ahead in terms of criminalities and Olori Buruku style. Okay, look at this form I'm displaying now. This form obviously is in circulation in certain part of the country, trying to lure people into taking their sensitive IDs. Only the gods of our land know what they intend to do with these things. Just take a look at the form. And what is it called? What is stated on it? It says Renew Hope World Development Program Empowerment. They'll be telling them it's for empowerment. So you are not to fill this form. And what are you filling in the form? Number 1, your name. Number 2, your ward. 3, local government area. 4, your NIN. 5, your BVN. 6, your voter's card number. What do you need this information for to empower anybody? So this is already an election rigging style. This is what they've cooked. This is the next one they're going to apply in 2027. And people are saying this man is a political strategist. He's a master tactic. See, we should stop applauding criminality. Condemn it. Call it what it is. Criminal. You get the point now. You're asking for their NIN, voting number, voter's card number, and then account number. Then lastly, they are asking for phone number. If anybody has all this information about you, it's as good as that person have you. Yes. If anybody, most especially those with criminal tendency, has all this information about you, what else do they need about you that they don't have or they can't get? Nothing. So Tinubu distributing this form, calling it whatever empowerment program, is a sham, a fraud, a rigging in advance come 2027. But you know what? Nigerians are too daft, too dumb not to understand most of these things. Most especially those that are not literate at all. Those that were not even fortunate to go to primary school like we did. They will fall for all this trash. Let somebody come and give me this form to fill now. May thunder send the person back in pieces. Because see, this doesn't make sense. Just do well. Wait for election, then let the people vote for you. This is why they don't want election to be proper. They don't ever want election to be proper in Nigeria. And somebody will come hailing Tinubu before me. You won't do that. You will never do that. You get it? Because we know better. It's gone in our days where we were all those, where we were politically ignorant. We know better now. And we are exposing them, sensitizing the people. Because for those that think, oh, that will do the insult, at the verse. Yes, at the verse, the whole country is messed up. And the same people that have messed the country up, they have no intention of letting the country go. They've turned Nigeria to a farm where they just harvest and take it to where somebody else has fixed. They have no intention of fixing this country. And you think we should be easy on such people? If we have our ways, we should be doing something more terrible than just talking to them. But for now, let's do it in words. And when Nigeria wakes up, when we have the numbers of our work that we need, then we might be able to have the likes mind. That unity, that division that they've created, we might be able to discard it, then unite, and then know what to do. But until then, let the sensitization continue. And Nigerians, open your eyes. When they give you any form, don't feel. When you see any phone carrying APC and Tinubu picture, just know that that phone is against you. It's not for you. It's not for your own good. Avoid it. Flee. In fact, if they give it to you, tear, shred it into pieces. Is that a style? Is that you win election? You just rig yourself into office. Deliver the dividends of democracy to the people and you'll be re-elected. It's that simple. But you failed. You refused because you have a plan on how to come in through the back door. That Olori Buruku style 2023 will not work again. No. Don't say I didn't tell you. It will not work again.
Prior to the December 25 attack, we had Sheikh Gumi here on this program, and he talked about what would happen if America came to Nigeria saying that they are fighting for Christians. All right, he did say quite a lot of things. If we could, we'll put up that video of him saying those things, the statements that he made. But he said, look, they will take up arms against Christians. And right after that attack, we've seen quite a number of other attacks. We've seen, abductions in hundreds. And this is just the second month in the year 2026. From January up until this time, hundreds of people have been abducted. Hundreds more have been killed. And we also can see, statements that he made about using some terrorist groups to further combat the likes of Lakurawa and the rest. I mean, these are statements that Sheikh Gumi made, and it feels like the things he feels like a prophet right now, because we've seen the NSA contract some individuals as they go on to help, give them logistics, vehicles and arms to combat, to guard the forest and the rest of them. And we've also seen a doubling down of bandit attacks around the hinterlands and the rest of them. Is it that our government would you say government has failed in this area of securing lives and property? Because we've seen a situation where in some cases there was an attack, government initially in that area denied, and later we realized that truly it took place. Can you say there's been a complete failure
to outrightly condemn government security apparatus in the country currently is overwhelmed, and you see, when you dovetailed into these 170 killing, I noticed that we were a little bit crestfallen. As a matter of fact, I've not been myself since yesterday, honestly, and I almost had nightmare, because I just imagine if you slaughter chickens 170 at a go, it's a huge heap, and it can be overwhelming. Not imagining human beings who woke up and had various plans, and just like that, you just terminated their lives in cold blood, and the only excuse is that you wanted to impose your religion on them and they resisted. And this is a country that is secular in nature, that you are allowed to practice your religion, to have the freedom of association, and just like that, 170. And as a matter of fact, even the traditional ruler of that community is not yet found. Other people that probably escaped into the bush, some of them would have had bullet wounds that they would not be able to call in paramedics to take care of them, and they would have died in the process. So we're just still counting. This morning I read in the papers that it's 175 as of this morning.
So the numbers are increasing.
The numbers are increasing.
And this is in the West, Kwara State.
Kwara State, for that matter. The point is,
What does that say? What does that say to the invasion that we are seeing?
You recall that
it seems to be coming down.
You recall that when the 25th December attack happened, I said these guys are going to disperse. They're not going to remain in one particular spot where there will be soft targets. And that is exactly what has happened now. It's going to be very difficult for the military to track them.
You think so?
Yes, it's going to be very difficult because they're not going to converge again, so that people would, I mean, they will not be isolated in a particular place. Now they are coming southwards. They limited themselves to the middle belt. Kwara shares the same boundary with Oyo State, with Osun State, and Ekiti State. So you can imagine what could have happened. And Kogi also shares boundary with Ondo State and Edo State. So it's like these guys have found haven. Of course, you know that because of the nature of the forest in the north, it's easier to identify them. But this part of the country, the southern part of the country, is a place where you can hide in the forest and you will not be easily located even by drone. So it's a big problem that I don't know. Each time I try to figure out how this problem will be solved, I get scared. Because you can imagine the whole of the south is densely populated, whereas the north is sparsely populated. So what you will do in the north that would generate like 170 deaths, now imagine if it were to be in the south, where even the smallest village you have an average of between 3,000 to 5,000 inhabitants.
All right, then let me come to Mazi Amobi Iheburu now. Mazi, down south, 170 deaths. It's not. It's been reoccurring. These things from the beginning of the year. Would you say that Nigeria probably should not have even allowed or given the US, the go-ahead to attack? Should we have just found a way? Because some Nigerians are saying, let's go back to negotiating with these terrorists. Wouldn't that mean that Nigeria has, the government has completely failed? Because that's the voice that is coming from social media. Some Nigerians on social media, especially those that are being affected.
If you want my sincere opinion,
which is what I want actually,
I will say that the government has failed in the fight against insecurity. She has failed, and inviting America is one of the things this government have done to be able to, tinker with this problem. You could have imagined why, these people are so emboldened now. This is fight to finish. I think they are being pushed to the walls. They want to make statements that they cannot be disseminated. So what I would want to see now that the American boots are on the ground in Nigeria is to intensify these efforts. No breathing space, bumper to bumper, as it were, so that these people can be, tamed, as it were. We don't need to treat them with kid gloves. Now, you rightly pointed out the surge to the south, and like Dele rightly pointed out, if it comes down to the south, particularly the southwest, that will be the, it will show a very, sorry state of Nigeria. The Sudans of this world, some of these things we are looking at 15 years ago, Somalia of this world and all that, will be a child's play, yes, and all that. So I think it is not a mistake it is a right step in the right direction that these Americans are here now.
Before we proceed, I would like for us to watch a video of Prophet Isa El-Buba, where he gave a press conference and he basically explained the plight of northern region Christians as he thanked Trump. Let's take that video and then we'll come back and talk about this.
Washington, D.C. And I'm speaking specifically to Nigerians, also in the diaspora. Nobody wins a war for their homeland from outside alone. Victory requires internal collaboration and one united voice abroad. I want to celebrate and appreciate the President of the United States of America for hearkening to the voice and the cry of the Nigerian people. And what you have done, just speaking on behalf of the persecuted, the killed, and the murdered communities, has done a lot that has not happened in over 20 years. And we commend the action of the United States and also all the people that have been able to pull their energies together. Genocide has been on for all these years, but right now I can testify that we're beginning to see the change in terms of the attitude and the behavior of the government of Nigeria and the terrorists. We are gathered here not because Nigeria is weak, but because Nigeria is bleeding. What began as persecution of Christians community has spilled over into also the killing of moderate Muslims, particularly the Hausas, and the destruction of entire civilization that has taken place. The perpetrators are very clear. They are the Fulani killer headsmen and the Aswa and the jihadist network that have pulled their strength and energy together to fight the church and go after anyone who calls upon the name of the Lord, especially in northern Nigeria. I have been part of the funeral of several thousands of Christians that have been massacred overnight. One of the places, Dogona Awa, where over 500 Christians were killed in one night. In one of the communities that I have rebuilt, is called Takwa in Plateau State, over 210 people were massacred and killed one night, not because of their skin color, not because of their cultural background, but because they are called by the name of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Prophet Isa El-Buba, talking about America's involvement there. Oh well, and we also have joining us from Benin, Solomon Idiogbe. I'll come to you shortly, but before we do that, let's also look at a message that came from the Kwara State government. Kwara State, of course, not central Nigeria. That message from the governor's office. Let's have that message up on the screen. It says, this is breaking. The governor at Real A.A. Rahman, who arrived Kayama tonight in company of service chiefs and cabinet members, says 75 local Muslims were massacred simply for refusing to surrender to extremists who preached a strange doctrine. Now, we're still towing the line of whether it is Christian genocide or Christian and Muslim being killed. Is that necessary at this point, gentlemen? Mazi Amobi, is it necessary? We're talking about 175 and counting people that have been killed, and we're also being told that these people that perpetrated the killings used to just come to preach before now. They come to preach and say, look, accept Sharia, accept. And because the people turned them down in their numbers, that look, we don't want this. They were rounded up, hands tied behind their backs, and execution style, killed. Some of them heads cut off. For some of them, I mean, I couldn't even see I couldn't stand watching the video. And we're still talking about, oh no, it's not just Christians, it's Muslims. Are we, does it seem like we're serious?
This is impunity of the highest order. You see, it started small. The narrative was that Christians were being killed and all that, and a lot of measures were put in place to really checkmate these bandits or gunmen. Now it has escalated. You know, they're making a statement, just like the Prophet said, moderate Muslims, you know, who refuse indoctrination had also been part of it. Now the thing is assuming a wider dimension. That was why when we were talking earlier on, we said, probably it's not just Christians. There are killings in Nigeria. Now that it is becoming obvious that the moderate Muslims are also, you know, victims of this dastardly act, it now behoves on government to really take steps towards, you know, solving this problem.
Okay, all right. But before we go to the main guest, so talking about solving these problems, now we have Americans on ground. I would like for us to talk about American involvement. When after the 9/11, then National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice, who later became the Secretary of State in the same administration, said, well, after a brief memorial for the people that died, he said, now we have buried the dead, let us protect the living. We are talking about dead people now. What do we do to protect the living? America is here. If you understand these things, we have the Northwest, we have the North Central, we have the Northeast. And now these regions have their different kind of challenges. They present different kind of challenges in terms of insecurity. Northwest clearly by banditry that is mixed with some form of jihadism now, as we see. In the Northeast, it was clearly terrorism, Boko Haram. Then in the North Central, it's about killer headsmen and all of that. We have Americans on ground now. Light footprint, by the way. Do we expect that this light footprint is going to solve the problem across the region? We are not even talking about the South.
Hey everybody, this is Judd Saul, the Executive Director of Equipping the Persecuted. You know, I don't try to come out every day and get a lot of attention by putting out videos of myself. Usually the purpose for doing this is just because I have something that I have to say and that I'd like to raise attention and a certain awareness about. And I just wanted to come out and say this. So I just got back from Washington, D.C. I was at the International Religious Freedom Summit. And lo and behold, the Washington, D.C. lobby firm known as DCI Group, the company that has taken over $9 million from the Nigerian government to put out a narrative that there's no genocide, that everything, you know, is okay. And poor Tinubu has just inherited such a mess that he can't handle everything that's going on, but also to say that there really is no genocide taking place. It's just people being affected, and poor Tinubu just doesn't have enough resources. I just want to point a few things out real fast. First of all, DCI is a Republican-leaning firm that took $9 million, which I refer to as Judas money, to lay cover for the genocide that's happening in Nigeria. While Mrs. Tinubu, the First Lady of Nigeria, is parading around Washington, D.C., going to these high-level meetings, eating at the fancy restaurants, while she's out here saying that, oh, poor Tinubu is in over his head and that there's really no genocide taking place, the fact remains that while she's here, over 300 Christians have been massacred within the last 72 hours. In Taraba, in Benue, major attack in Kwara, killing in Plateau. The vast majority of these victims are Christian. The people doing the killing are Fulani, ethnic militia. The attacks in Kwara were committed by radical Islamists. Now, while Nigerian government is spending $9 million bringing a delegation to the United States to say that, you know, there's no genocide going on, it's okay. You know, they could have spent that $9 million protecting their own citizens. I'm gonna make you aware of really how things work in Nigeria to put it in perspective, because I don't think most Americans or Westerners really understand how this works. Did you know that the average soldier in Nigeria makes $100 a month? The average police officer makes about $100 a month, if they're lucky, and even if they get paid on time. Now do the math. $9 million can pay for a lot of security personnel at $100 a month, especially in the very hard hit areas that get attacked over and over and over and over again with no security. Now, I'd like to highlight a certain thing, a specific instance of what we know had happened in Benue, in the Kwandi area. The local police and military were in the middle of a rotation. Now, that means soldiers and police are moving out and new ones are moving in, but they don't do it at the same time. One goes and then one comes. But for some magical reason, the terrorists knew that there was a rotation taking place, that the military was moving and that the police were moving. Somehow, magically, the terrorists knew when this was going to happen, so there was no security in the area. And then they go and unleash and kill civilians. Women, children, men were murdered in these attacks. And there was just an attack last night, a new attack in Benue, not too far from Kwandi. All while the First Lady is spending Nigerian government money to put out the false narrative that there is no genocide against Christians. To every Nigerian watching this, you guys should be very, very, very upset that your government is spending this kind of money to to put out a false narrative instead of protecting your people. You Nigerian senators, congressmen, and politicians should be very upset about what's happening in your country, while hundreds of your innocent people are murdered every week. Every single week. Thousands of your people are getting kidnapped yearly. Sometimes multiple hundred in one setting with no police or military intervention. This lies on your shoulders. The responsibility to protect your people rests on your shoulders. And instead of expounding all this energy and money to put out propaganda, why don't you just take your resources, your energy, your connections, and your efforts to actually solve the problem, which would bring about a better future for all Nigerians and be a better future for your country? Is the little naira, the little payoffs worth it? Is the bribery you're taking from the bad guys worth it? You want to keep running your country into the ground for little pieces of silver, betraying your own people to benefit yourselves? Or would you rather see a prosperous, functioning Nigeria that is the beacon of all Africa and could be a beacon to the rest of the world of what a prosperous, secure, free society looks like? I ask you this question. I'm still going to be coming to Nigeria. Our teams are still going to be working on the ground, trying to pick up the pieces after these attacks, the pieces that you guys failed to pick up. We're going to help the lives of the people that you're refusing to help. But we're still going to be a voice for the voiceless in your country and across the world. We're going to be a voice for the suffering Nigerian Christians. And we're not going to back down. And I don't care if you're waiting it out till Trump is out of office, which I've heard is what you guys are doing. You're planning on waiting it out till Trump's out of office. Just play the game for long enough as your people continue to suffer get kidnapped, get massacred. There's no reason for this. Do the right thing for once. Stand up for your people. Protect the innocent. Fight the evil that is killing the innocent, that is doing the kidnapping. And to my fellow brothers and sisters in Nigeria, my fellow Christian brothers and sisters, you guys need to speak up. You prosperity preachers need to speak up. Christians in Nigeria need to unite under one voice to say enough is enough. And to the Muslims in Nigeria that are sick and tired of watching people being killed and kidnapped, and they just want to see a free, prosperous Nigeria, you need to join in the chorus with the Christians and say enough is enough. All it takes is willpower. All it takes is everybody getting behind one another, helping one another to defeat this evil. And to my friends, my colleagues, and to the politicians that represent us in the United States, President Trump, we could be doing a lot more in Nigeria to give the good guys a helping hand. But we need to identify who's doing the killing and acknowledge it. We need to identify all the bad actors, including the Fulani ethnic militia. It's not just ISIS. It's not just Boko Haram. The group that's responsible for doing the vast majority of the killings of Christians is the Fulani ethnic militia, and you have to identify them for who they are if we're going to put a stop to it. I'm asking you, President Trump, Marco Rubio, Tulsi Gabbard, put time, effort, and resources into exposing the Fulani ethnic militia. It's not just Boko Haram and ISIS that are dangerous. There's a third large terror element called the Fulani ethnic militia that need to be dealt with. But I'm asking for the world to join, brothers and sisters across the world to join this cause. If you'd like to help persecuted Christians on the ground immediately instead of waiting for political action and political help, which I hope one day comes. In the meantime, there's dead bodies. There's wounded in the hospitals that we're taking care of. We need all the help we can get at equippingthepersecuted.org. For a little over $1 a month, you can partner with us at equippingthepersecuted.org. Join the cause. Be a part of the solution instead of just talk. God bless you all, and may God help Nigeria.
So guys, let me quickly take you through this headline about APC trying to forge whatever. Like this person said, nothing like APC membership registration. They are criminals and will continue to call them out until the majority understands it. We will no longer ignore their sabotage and betrayal, because that's why Nigeria and Africa is so messed up and we are all suffering. Enough is enough. Now, this guy is the person who revealed what the APC is trying to do. I'm just wondering, are they not God-fearing people? Sure, if you are a member of the APC and you are a Christian, you are already doomed for hell. Because everything about APC is fraud. Why? You sign a tax bill is fraud. You sign the election this thing is fraud. Why is it that just to do how do we even build a society? Is it not by acting well so that younger people will watch us, our children will watch us and learn? But when we have fraudulent activities being carried out by people in government, how do we even expect this country to be fine in the nearest future? Now, this person say you will continue ranting on social media till when Tinubu finishes second term in 2021. I go cry, tire on this X. That's what this person is saying. Another person here says, which political strategies? Tinubu does not care about anybody. He's just a president by office. Nothing. If you like, give him 20 years in office, nothing will be done. Another person here said, another stupid man ranting. He can't even make a point. He's just saying trash with passion. Who is going to convince that Tinubu won't hear? Tinubu, who is going to be convinced? Who is he going to convince that Tinubu won't win? the 2027 election, where every other political leader are still fighting each other with no plan or strategy of how to defeat Tinubu. And this other person here said they are taking advantage of illiterates and uneducated through empowerment, and you as opposition don't have any counter strategy except make noise on social media to the wrong people. They play. Another person here said, thank you for the enlightenment, but this is not reaching the rural area where folks won't understand the game. All we need is good governance, and this insanity, this insecurity, division and succession drive will die away gradually and evaporate as far as good governance division are bound. And this other person here, see, you think you better get your facts right before accusing Mr. President falsely. Don't you think fraudulent people may want to take advantage of the various empowerment program of President Tinubu to defraud unsuspected Nigerians by asking for their sensitive bank information? Be wise. And this other person here said, now you are thinking like that. 2027 should be simple. Nigerians need to use their heads. What is the opposition going to do differently if they are not going to restore fuel and fix subsidy? They should fuck off. Of course, these were the two main policies of Tinubu that unraveled the entire system and dead them. So this person is actually giving tip to the Tinubu, to whosoever is going to serve as an opposition candidate, that you better campaign against some of Tinubu's policies. This person said, why are the bunch from this zone tribe so hard, turn disgrace themselves? Voters get verified by their fingerprint. Instead of being strategic, they allow hatred to fill their soul and destroy it slowly. It's so painful. And this other person said, this form are in circulation everywhere. Some claim it's free work, some claim it's free money, some tell you it's empowerment, while some others are told it is government fund for citizens. But why is NIN PVC needed? APC now claiming they have 10 million voters, mean Obi has 15 million obedience. So guys, this is what is happening, and people are wondering what they actually need all this for. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification for more. Thank you.